Namaskar. Uh, Welcome in this lecture series. This is Dr. Bright Keswani, Professor in Computer Science and Engineering in Suresh Ganvihari University, Jaipur. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the software engineering documentation, software documentation and re-engineering process. These are our learning objective of this lecture and learning outcomes, expected outcomes, learning outcomes. Through this lecture, you will learn all insights about software documentation and the software re-engineering process in detail. The expected learning outcomes are concerned as they concern. Uh, After the completion of this lecture, you will be able to understand about the importance of documentation and why effective documentation is required. And secondly, what is the re-engineering process and when it is needed. These are the clear-cut understanding about these topics, these broad topics uh, will be provided to you in this lecture. These are the points to be discussed during this lecture. Software documentation, its purpose and characteristics is the first point. Second is effective software documentation and its limitations. User documentation and its types, system documentation and its types, and software documentation tools and their characteristics. These all points are related to the documentation process. And in the last segment, we will discuss about the software engineering and its benefits. Okay, let us start with the first point, that is software documentation, its purpose and characteristics. So, through software developers' views, software documentation as one of the best desirable thing. You can say it is very much desirable thing uh, for maintenance of the software, for construction of the software, or you can say the build development of the software, and testing of the software. Through the documentation, you can ensure the quality of the software. So this is mainly a written material. You can say it is a video or image instruction that comes with computer software, and the software documentation helps in explaining how to use a service or a program. Okay, uh, these these type of documentation provides you the clear-cut understanding about how the system performing in a to fulfill in the direction to fulfill the client's requirements. So there are mainly different types of software documents, like requirements documents are there, architecture document are there, technical document and end user documents. And in some companies there is some special team who take care of the technical writing, such as documentation team. So it is, you can say that some researches indicates that 5% to 15% of the development efforts goes into the software documentation. So you can through that this data you can easily understand the importance of documentation. Several techniques are emerging for automation of software documentation. So uh, uh, it is there quality documentation. To prepare a quality documentation, significant efforts are required. Okay, and when you want to make a quality software, you should provide a quality documentation also to the client as well as to the uh, developer and tester and maintenance professionals. Now come to the documentation and what its purpose. So what is the purpose of documentation? As I earlier said, that software documentation is all information that describes the development, operation, use and maintenance of computer software. And this information is in form that can be reproduced and distributed, updated and referred to when it is needed. So when you are going to maintain the software in future, then you need a documentation, you need a manual. When client wants to understand the software, he needs a manual or a documentation. When testing professionals want to test the module or the entire system, they need a documentation. When a different person other than the developer wants to understand the system, wants to understand the functionality of the system, he or she needs the quality documentation. Okay, so there are so many purpose of a good software documentation. Documentation is an appropriate vehicle, you can say, for much of the communication between project members. It spreads the communication between the team members. It provides a clear-cut understanding about the system, software system. Software is the most appropriate way to implement many system functions, and the documentation, you can say it is a weapon. You can say it is a tool to provide uh, the details of each and every function. Okay, because of the complexity of the systems involved, software cannot be developed without communication between project members and with the project management. So documentation provides communication. It works as a communication pathway between the project members and the project management, so that they can easily understand the requirements, they can easily understand what a client is expected from the system and what the developer is delivering through their software product. An individual cannot effectively maintain or use software without some understanding of that software. So, in this direction, when a software is developed by many people, one cannot understand the concept originated from a lot of people. So, a proper documentation is required, a quality documentation is required. Documentation is more permanent than word of mouth. When you are uh, uh, communicating verbally, then it has no use. Okay, but when you are communicating in a permanent manner, in a written manner, then it is worthy. Okay, so you should maintain a documentation. This is the importance of documentation, software documentation, and actually it is the purpose of documentation itself. An understanding of the software is needed as long as the software is being maintained and used, because software does not wear out. Software is a lifelong process. Uh, when, when it implemented, it comes under the maintenance itself. Okay, so uh, for the maintenance purpose also, you have a proper documentation is needed. Let us discuss about the, so these are the types of documents, like requirement documents you needed. Architecture document is the another form of documentation. Technical type of documentation is also another type of documentation, and documentation for end user. Okay, so that he can understand the entire software system. Let us discuss about the characteristics of software documentation. The first characteristic is that it helps the developer uncover and understand the problem, and encourages the thinking process needed to solve the problem. It is a very important that it uh, uncover the work of a developer, and it understand the problem, and it encourages the thinking process need to solve the problem. So proper documentation is required. We are using different tools and techniques when case tools are used when we are preparing the documentation during the analysis phase, during the designing phase, during the uh, database conversion phase. We are using several tools, several software engineering case tools, software engineering, computer aided software engineering tools, so that they can the all understanding about the system can be documented. Secondly, it provides easy access to various levels of documentation, then quickly deliver proper information to the appropriate audience. Yes, it provides easy access to various levels of documentation, then quickly deliver proper information to the appropriate audience. What is delivering? We are delivering, we are making several documentation, several types of documentation in each and every stage of SDLC. So, uh, with the help of that type of documentation, various types of documentation, user can easily understand, or the development team is easily understand the entire process of the software system. Okay, so this is the second characteristic. And third characteristic, it helps the maintainer to providing subject matter expert information, and by demonstrating how the application satisfy requirements. Client satisfaction is very much needed. So a good, through the good software documentation, you can uh, when you provide the uh, documentation to your client, and his reaction provides you the level of his level of satisfaction from your end product. Okay, so and he will suggest also, he will suggest his needs, he will suggest his requirements also, he will suggest some modifications also, changes also, updation also in this in the documentation part. Okay, so these are three main characteristics which helps to the developer, which helps to the end user, which helps the team members and management to understand the entire system. Come to the next slide, next point, that is effective software documentation and its limitations. What is effective documentation? Effective software documentation can provide visibility into the contractor's plan for developing software and performing configuration management, and for performing software formal qualification testing. Okay, so this is the first effective software documentation, uh, effectiveness of software documentation. Second is shows the technical progress of the project, shows the technical progress of the project, and prove that the software conforms to its requirements. Client requirements, satisfaction to the client requirement is very much needed. So it shows the technical progress of the project, as well as to provide uh, the information about the client needs, what if they are fulfilled or not. Then document the software implementation and the content of the delivered software. Document the software implementation is very much important, and you have to, when making a software documentation, you have to mention the contents, all contents of the delivered software, about the delivered software. Okay, then you you can increase the effectiveness of software documentation, you should define the required software support resources, plans the transaction form development to support, and provides materials that describe how to use and support the delivered software. So this is the uh, effectiveness criteria of software documentation. Then if a software documentation is effective, it supports evaluation of the software project's process through the software development lifecycle, and it helps demonstrate that the software will be maintainable after deployment. You can, if through the effective software documentation, you can make the software maintainable after the deployment. Some limitations are also there. Limitations of the software documentation. So software documentation is very advantageous, whereas on the other hand, it may also suffer from some limitations, and if not considered seriously, few of the major, if not considered seriously, uh, uh, the documentation may considered as a poor documentation. So there are a few major limitations. Like first is it requires resources to be produced and maintained, because as much as documentation is required, we need resources also to maintain or to prepare the proper documentation. Okay, then sometimes it may be inaccurate because human beings are creating the software requirement as software documentation. So maybe sometimes it may be inaccurate, or it may not be readable in a readable form. It may not be understandable form. Okay, it may not be maintained. So these are some limitations that regarding to the software documentation part. Let us discuss about the user documentation and its types. What is user documentation? User documentation consists of the documents that describe the functions of the system without reference to how these functions are implemented. So user documentation is very much needed. User documentation should be structured so that it is not necessary to read almost all the documentations before starting to use the system, and it should be integrated with online help. But it is not sufficient simply to print help frame text as user documents. Okay, so the documentation provided the system users is usually the first contact they have with the system, and user documentation should provide an accurate initial impression of the system. Okay, so user document are the essential part of documentation, software documentation. There are several types of user documentation like functional description, installation manual, uh, introductory manual, a reference manual, system administrator's guide, and other easy to use documentation. So let us discuss all types of documentation in a very quick manner. The first one is functional description. Let us discuss about the functional description. Functional description explains what the system can do. Function descriptions provides outlines the system requirements and aim of the system designers. It describes what the system can do and cannot do. It introduces small, self-evident examples whenever possible, and diagrams should be uh, mentioned. Diagrams should be uh, clearly drawn in the functional description document. Okay. The second thing is introductory module or introductory manual. Introductory manual explains in simple terms how to get started with the system. It performs, it provides an overview of the system. It enables user to decide if the system is appropriate for their work or present on informal introduction to the system. And it describes how to get started on the system and how the user might make use of the common system failure. And it always tell the system user how to get out of trouble when things go wrong. Okay, so introductory manual is a very important part of the user documentation, uh, and it explains this in simple term how to get started with the system. That's why it is called as introductory manual. Installation manual, as far as installation manual is concerned, the installation manual explains how to install the system and how to configure the particular hardware. Okay, so it must contain a description of the machine readable media on which the system is supplied, its formats, the characteristic codes used, and how the information was written, and the files makes up the system. So these are some instructions. All are instructions related to the installation of the software are mentioned in the installation manual. It should describe the minimal hardware configuration required to run the system and the permanent files which must be established, and how to start the system, how to configure the system, what types of files are required to install prior to the system or to configure the system. These are the major points mentioned in the uh, installation manual. Okay, and when we install the software system, then we will require the installation manual. Let us discuss about the reference manual. A reference manual describes in detail all the system facilities available to the user and how these facilities can be used. Okay, the system reference manual is the you can say it is a very much important document on system uses, and uh, it should be you can say it should be complete in all manners. So it provides a comprehensive index, you can say. It is a comprehensive index, and it is a very important document. uh, it provides the error reports generated by the system. It provides the situations where these errors arises, and if appropriate, refer the user to a description of the facility which was in error. So what is basically reference manual? Reference manuals should contain all the error reports for future reference. Whenever a program or a software malfunctioning, the error reports will help to the end user to rectify the problem. Okay, and not only the list of error, it will provide the situations where these errors arises. Okay, so that the user uh, do not repeat the same error. Okay, let us discuss about the system administrator guide, which is again a very important documentation. System administrator guides is needed for systems that require operator interventions. Okay, so whenever a, uh, uh, a system needs operators intervention, it uses the system administrator's guide. And this guide describes the messages generated at the system console and how to react to these messages, which are mentioned, which should be mentioned in the system administrator's guide. And this system administrator guide explains the operator's task in maintaining the system, because there are relevant messages available in the system administrator guide. So the operator, with the help of system administrator guide, operator can easily operate and maintain the system. Okay. The last one is other easy to use documentation. The other easy to use documentation should include the quick reference card that listed all available system facilities and explain how to use them. So it is a, you can say it is a guide, easy to use guide, which is having a list of available system facilities and the description about their use. And it also provides the online help to the uh, operator. Okay, so easy to use documentation is basically a help file. You can say, you can uh, see these all files from in your software in the form of help file. Okay, let us discuss about the next point, that is system documentation and its type. We have discussed about user documentation. Now we are discussing about the system documentation. System documentation encompasses all the documents describing the implementation of the system, from the requirements, specifications to the final acceptance test plan, like documents describing the design, documents describing the implementation related, and documents describing testing. Okay, so these are the major areas uh, which is to be discussed, which is to be elaborated in your system documentation when you are developing the system documentation. Documents describing the design, you should incorporate documentation which is describing the design. You should describe you should describe the implementation process and testing process in the system documentation. System documentation is essential for understanding and maintaining a software system, and the documentation should be structured and described with overviews, leading the leading the reader into more formal and detailed descriptions of each aspect of the system. Remember, no aspect is left when you are creating the system documentation. Okay, and one of the major difficulties with system documentation is the maintenance of consistency across the different documentation describing the system. And to keep uh, track of change, it is recommended that documents should be placed under the control of a configuration management system. Okay, which is very important part of the system documentation. Let us discuss about the uh, uh, constituents of system documentation. What are the contents of system documentation? Okay, the requirements, definitions and specifications, and an associate rationals are the essential component of system documentation. An overall system specification showing how the requirements are decomposed into a set of interacting programs. And this document is not required when the system is implemented using only a single person. Okay, single program. So in nutshell, in summary, what is why system documentation is needed? System documentation is needed to understand the detailed design process, to understand the implementation related process, to understand the testing related process. So each and every minute details to be described in the uh, system documentation part. Okay, regarding the test plans, regarding the decomposition levels, regarding the acceptance test plans, and other regarding the user needs, and regarding the installation process. So each and every minute thing will be mentioned in the system documentation part. There are several system documentation tools, and let us discuss about their characteristics also. So, user guides, reference manuals, help text, and other printed material are the part of documentation, and you can use the World Wide Web, you can use the online technologies, you can use the case tools, you can use the HTML or other web development languages to uh, implement, to generate, to uh, design the software documentation as a tool. Okay, there are several characteristics of documentation tool, and the selection of documentation tool is also a difficult task. There are some key characteristics of good documentation tool, like the documentation should always be on hand. Software developers or users need not search for a manual if they have access to the computer. So online documentation should be provided to your customer. The need of effective indexing of documents is particularly important when the documentation is maintained online. So if it is indexed, then it is easy to search the appropriate instruction or appropriate solution to the problem. And there is no point in having the information available if the reader cannot easily and quickly find the information required. So uh, documentation should be on hand. The second characteristic is document should be easy to modify and maintain, and this has the consequence that the project documentation is more likely to be kept up to date. So uh, the document should that document uh, will be kept always up to date, but it is possible only when it is easy to modify and maintain the document. The next characteristic is document may be automatically analyzed. Yes, the text can be analyzed in various ways to produce different type of index and to check the spellings and typing errors. Then document production may be shared. Several individuals may work on the production of a document at the same time. So the document individual work of the production uh, may be shared. So document should be in a shared manner. Documents management is simplified. If you uh, make the simplification in the document management process, then process of the management of the document, then uh, it is easy to find to reach the appropriate information. All associated documents can be collected under a common heading, and the state of development of these documents may be in a ascending or descending form order. Okay, and configuration management tools may be used to maintain different versions of documents and to control changes. Automatic information retrieval is feasible. So information retrieval systems may operate on documents, retrieving all documents that contain particular keywords. Okay, or you can say you can consider keywords as an example also. Uh, you all are aware about the use of keywords. Keywords are used to uh, search the appropriate information or categorize the information. Okay, so it is keywords are also important part of the and you can use it as a tool when you are making the software documentation. Okay, as far as quality is concerned, a description of the front cover format to be adopted by all documents is the quality feature. Page numbering and page automation uh, convention is the another quality measure of the software documentation. Methods of reference to other documents, what kind of method you are adopting when you are referencing to other documents is a very important thing. And the numbering of headings and subheadings is another uh, important thing. So when you read a book, you can find several chapters in the book. You are you are find you can find several headings, subheadings, and sections in the book. So a book is organized in a manner so that it is easy to find out any information. You can find out the index in few uh, front few pages, and the index provides you the better understanding, the easy reach to the to the content. So these are the quality parameters of a proper documentation. There are some tips for producing user and system documentation. You can say these tips or guidelines like use active rather than passive tenses when you are documenting, you are preparing the documentation. Do not use long sentences that present several different facts. Do not refer to information by reference number alone, and itemize facts wherever possible. If a description is complex, repeat yourself. Okay, so make the description simple. Don't be uh, 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 make the words that you are using in the description, in the software description. Don't use difficult words. Use only words that are easy to understand. Okay, and keep paragraphs short. These are some guidelines. Make use of headings and subheadings, and check the graphical errors and correct the spellings. These are some tips, some guidelines you can say uh, 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 that can be used when you are making the documentation, software documentation. Okay, let us come to the next point and last point you can say of this lecture, that is software re-engineering and its benefits. What is the re-engineering process? When software has been developed over a long period of time, it is often difficult and costly to ensure that it meets the best industry practices and standards at all times. Okay, so it is better re-engineer software to improve the functionality, to improve the efficiency and maintainability of the code. And this is the cost-effective way to, of upgrading customers' resources and improving productivity. Okay, so re-engineer the software means what? Why we re-engineer the software? The Reengineering means the process of modifying the internal mechanism of a system or program or the data structure of a system without changing its functionality. So when you want to improve the functionality, when you want to improve the efficiency, effectiveness, and maintainability of the software. You can always use the re-engineering process. Okay. Existing applications may be adopted or converted to improve their functionality or user image, and to take advantage of current best practice techniques. The result is that the customer's initial investment in the software is preserved fully, and the applications are made more reliable, more robust, efficient, and easier to use. So, what is the purpose of reengineering? The purpose of reengineering to uh, make your software updated, make your software efficient, make your software reliable, and make your software easy to use. So, re-engineering, the definition of re-engineering, as I elaborated earlier, that IBM says that IBM defines it that it is the process of modifying the internal mechanisms of a system or program or the data structure of a system without changing its functionality. Okay, so you can say that it is a definition of the software re-engineering process. Some other definitions are also that Arnold defines that any activity that improves one's understanding of software and improves the software itself is called as software re-engineering. Okay, so there are so many definitions. In this definition given by the Arnold, the interpretation of software is quite broad, and it includes source code, it includes design records, and the source of documentation. And this definition partitions software re-engineering into two sets of activities. The first set consists of activities supporting program understanding, like browsing, like measurements and reverse engineering. And the second set includes activities geared towards software evolution, such as redocumentation, restructuring, and remodularization. So there are several definitions of re-engineering, but the software engineering, in nutshell, the re-engineering is used for the improvement in the software, and it uh, it have some benefits also, like it reduces the cost, it reduces the risk, and better use of existing staff. There are evidence from a number of US projects suggest that re-engineering an existing software system cost significantly less than new system development. And software reengineering is based on incremental improvement of systems rather than radical system replacement. The risk of losing critical software knowledge is drastically reduced by the adoption of re-engineering, and existing staff expertise can be maintained and extended, accommodate new skills during software re-engineering. So as you as you understand that the re-engineering process is the incremental process, it increases, it improves the uh, uh, efforts, efficiency of the software, and it improves the quality of the software. So, uh, always a re-engineering process is suggested for the betterment of the software. Re-engineering process includes some activities like reverse engineering, program restructuring, source code translation, and data re-engineering. Okay, so there are so many other activities involved in the re-engineering process. There are several goals are also of river. So let us discuss about these concepts, like what is reverse engineering, what is program restructuring, so source code translation, and other uh, uh, terms. Reverse engineering performs transformation from a lower abstraction level to a higher abstraction level, and the re-engineering transforms an existing software system into a new but more maintainable system. So this is the basic difference between reverse engineering and a re-engineering process. Restructuring performs uh, transformation within the same abstraction level, and forward engineering performs transformation from a higher abstraction level to a lower one. So reverse engineering and forward engineering are the uh, opposite of each other. Re-engineering transforms an existing software system into a new but more maintainable system, and restructuring performs transformation within the same abstraction level. So these are the terms. You should know the meaning about all these terms, and I elaborated uh, in a briefly manner all the terms using in the related to the software re-engineering process. So this is all from my side, and now this is the time of for assessment through multiple choice questions. The first question is, what are the problems with restructuring? The A option is loss of comments, B is loss of documentation, C is heavy computational demands, and all of the mentioned. So the answer is B, loss of documentation. What are the problems of restructuring? The problem of restructuring related to the loss of documentation. Okay. The second question, forward engineering is not necessary if an existing software product is producing the correct output. Is it true or false? It is false. The third question is, which of the following is a data problem? Hardware problem, record organization problem, heavy computational demands, or loss of comments? So the answer is record organization problem, that is B. Okay, data problem related to the record organization problem. It is not related to the loss of comment. It is not related to the heavy computational demand. It is not related to the hardware problem. It is related to the record organization problem. The fourth question is, when does one decides to re-engineer a product? Options are, when tools to support restructuring are disabled. Second, when system crashes frequently. Third, when hardware or software supports become obsolete. And fourth, subsystems of a larger system requires few maintenance. The answer is C, when the hardware or software supports becomes obsolete. The fifth question, which of the following is not a business goal of a re-engineering? Cost reduction, time reduction, maintainability, or none of the mentioned? Answer is none of the mentioned. These not are the business goals. These are the essentials goals of the software re-engineering. Okay, so none of the mentioned. Uh, in the sixth question, STD stands for what? Software test documents, system test documents, software traced documents, or system traced documents. The right answer is A, software test documents. Let us discuss the seventh question. Dash is part of user documentation. Class diagram, use case diagram, or code comment or installation guide. The right answer is D. Installation guide is the part of user documentation. The eighth question. The process of maintaining a record of project development and maintenance. The option is process documentation, product documentation, user documentation, or system documentation. The right answer will be the process documentation. The ninth question, Dash provide the details specific application being developed. Options are system models, appendices, index, or glossary. The answer is appendices. 10th question. The services provided for the user are described in which section? There are four options available. Option A is system requirements. Option B is user requirements. Option C is system models, and D is appendices. The right answer is user documentation. Sorry, user requirements. The service provided for the user are described in which section? User requirements. So that's all for today. We had discussed about several things. We had discussed about software documentation and its purpose and characteristics of software documentation. In this lecture, we had discussed about effective software documentation and its limitations, user documentation and its types, system documentation and its types, and software documentation tools and their characteristics. And last and finally, we had discussed about software engineering process and its various benefits. Okay, then we have discussed about some uh, multiple choice questions for assess our knowledge. If still you have some query, then it is suggested to consider these books for handling your queries. Okay, I I think you will easily find the reply of your query. I hope this lecture provided you a clear-cut understanding about all the topics that we have chosen for today. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you very much.